Thank you so much for joining us. This is Three Stones TV. My name is Paul Mushoki. Now, in 2010, we saw the inauguration of a new constitution, a ceremony that was presided over by the then President Moi Kibaki. And our new constitution was hailed the world over as a very good constitution. And one of the reasons as to why the new constitution was celebrated as a good constitution is because it gave women and men an equal chance in society, in leadership in our country. And to help us demystify this and other issues is the chairperson of National Women's Steering Committee, Daisy AMDANY. Welcome.
Thank you.
Do you think the Kenyan constitution, the new constitution, the one we passed in 2010, have we achieved what it proposed?
No, we have not. But not because of the constitution, but because there seems to be a lack of will. I like the way you introduced it and said there was a lot of pomp and ceremony. And there was a lot of also an air of expectation. Because remember, one of the things that Kenyans were told is that when we promulgate a new constitution, we're going to see a different Kenya. And when you look at the constitution, it envisions a different Kenya. It's an aspirational document that seeks to include everybody and gives everybody equal rights and equal opportunities. Unfortunately, now we are beginning to see more and more a lack of political will towards basic adherence to constitutional principles, particularly with regard to the inclusion of women, specifically in political leadership.
Why do you think the men in power are the ones who are not allowing that to happen?
Yes, because the constitution is very clear. Now, you must remember that the constitution is the supreme law of the land. It gives authority to the president to govern. The president governs the way he does because the constitution directs him to do so. You remember when he was giving the State of the Nation address recently?
Yeah,
what did he say? He said, in line with the my constitutional requirements. So he was doing it because the constitution required him to annually. It requires him to annually address the nation through parliament to tell us what the state of the nation is and what the plans for his administration going forward for the next year are. Now, this is in the constitution. He derives his authority and power to govern this nation from the constitution, as do our legislators, as do all of independent office holders. It is that constitution that designs the architecture and organizes our country. That same constitution directs that we shall have not more than 2/3 in elective offices. Now, we were not able to achieve that in 2013, but we were given a Supreme Court advisory that by August 27, 2015, we must have a mechanism to operationalize that.
Let's go back a little bit to 2013 elections. Let us look at the presidential elections. There was only one woman who vied for the seat of the presidency, only Martha Karua.
Yes.
Don't you think women are holding back
in
leadership positions?
First of all, how many men vie for presidency? I mean,
there were several compared to women.
No, compared to women, yes, but in comparison to population, how many? This is not a seat. Running for the presidency is a very high office. You also need a lot of resources to do that. You need a lot of resources, and women don't have those resources. Why? Because culture, our socialization has denied women that opportunity, which is why the constitution is very clear. Because if you look at even in terms of land, in terms of resources and involvement and culture as well, it outlaws culture that is inconsistent with the constitution, particularly within the Bill of Rights. So a lot of women do not have the kind of resources that are required to run for that office. You know, you need to have at least quite a measure of disposable income to do that. A lot of women are still
to go around the country convincing people.
Yes, and you know, at the same time you are doing that, you have to eat, your family has to eat. You still have to continue with your day-to-day life. So not many women have that kind of money. Not many women, you know, but Martha is not the first person to make a go at it.
Yeah.
We know that Honorable Charity Ngilu has made a go of it twice. The late Wangari Maathai made a go of it. So it's not to say that women do not aspire to this office. It's just that it is that much more difficult.
What can we do to change our culture? Because even though the constitution propose that women and men be equal in Kenya, I think it begins with the way we think, our cultures. Because the whole of Africa, when we look at the African culture, the woman, the way we grow up, the way we understand is that the role of the woman is to be at home with the kids.
Yes.
How do we change that? How is it possible to change that?
That's why the Constitution is a good document, because it is very forward-looking, right? It puts in place certain very specific measures, affirmative action measures. For instance, the 47 seats we have. Those are affirmative action measures. There are places in this country, if we did not have those 47 seats, a woman would never be chosen. We have in the counties the special seat members necessary to ensure not more than 2/3 of the same gender.
Yes.
If it were not for those provisions, there are places where women would never be leaders. Now, what that helps us to do, as these women become leaders and they begin to work, it begins to break that socialization that women cannot be leaders. I remember Millie Odhiambo saying that she aspired to be a leader when she saw Phoebe Asio running for public office. And she said, who is this woman? And she was fighting against a very, very, very strong male candidate, you know, and she beat him. And for her, she decided she wanted to be a leader. So even though culture was saying one thing, but the obvious, which was seeing that we can have women as leaders, was saying another. So in those parts where women are not, where they are told perpetually that you can't be leaders, that women are not supposed to be leaders, that's a male-dominated thing. Those cultural myths are being debunked by just the presence of women in leadership. Because while the culture is saying that you can't be a leader, the Constitution has said you must have 47 women. So I'm seeing that a woman is a leader, and not just a leader, she's chosen by the people.
Yeah, sometimes there is normally a problem because, like the example you gave, when Millie was a young girl, she wanted to be a leader. She aspired to be a leader one day. But there must be the father or the mother or an uncle or auntie saw her capability, and so maybe she could be a leader, and so nurtured her to be a leader. What if there is a girl somewhere in Turkana, this is just an example, maybe in Mandera, Garissa, somewhere, a girl who is aspiring to be a leader, but the parent doesn't want that to happen. So they do not nurture the leadership inside.
There are many girls who suffer that fate. We see it every time in many, many parts of our country, where girls run away from home because their parents want to marry them off. And they run to rescue centers where they go to school. And they defy their parents. Now, Millie, for her, she had a role model in Phoebe Asio, okay? Whether she was nurtured by her parents, I do not know. But for her, the desire was sparked by seeing another woman leader. There are others who will be inspired. They will be inspired or be given enough courage to fight against cultural practices when they see others have done it. Like those girls who defy their parents when their parents want to take them for circumcision and they run. These are news stories. You do them all the time, of girls who run away from home. They are rescued and they go to these shelters where they are able to go to school. And those same girls sometimes come back and they are of great benefit to their community. So people begin to see, no. Girls are of more value than just being wives and mothers. And mind you, I do not want to, under any circumstances, demean women as mothers or women as wives, because there is a place for that. Women are mothers, women are wives. The thing is, when we fight for women's empowerment, what we are saying is this. If a woman wants to be, on top of all those things, she wants to be a leader, she should not be denied that right on the basis that she's a woman. A mother. No, that she's a woman. Because when nobody says men are fathers, they are husbands, you know?
Yeah.
Some of them even, they don't have jobs, but they will stand for leadership and they are validated by patriarchy. A woman can do all that. She can be a great mother. She can be a great businesswoman. But the minute she wants to be a political leader, the first thing they see is she's a woman. She's weak. She's not capable. She's not able. What we are saying is this. Women must not be discriminated against because they are women. Okay? Because that's the discrimination. It's not discrimination on any basis. It is on the basis of the fact that they are women.
What can we do to achieve the 2/3 gender rule?
We can obey our constitution. Okay? That's the first thing. We must obey our constitution. Secondly, the formulas are there. The technical working group, the Gender Commission has come up with the formula. Lift 177B, amend the Elections Act and the Political Parties Act to compel political parties also to involve women in the political processes and give winnable seats to women. We look at all the women who were elected in the last general election. They were elected in areas where their political party was dominant, meaning if
women MPs.
Women MPs, the ones from, even the 47 are MPs, or even the ones who are nominated are MPs,
Yeah.
but the women elected from constituencies. You find that they were elected through the dominant party. If you look, TNA has the highest number of elected members. But look at where they are elected from. They are elected in TNA strongholds. One ODM member, she was elected from an ODM stronghold. We have Wiper members. They were elected in Wiper strongholds, which tells you that women will be elected if they are nominated in the party that is dominant. Yes, not TNA to field a candidate, a woman candidate in Bondo, and say we are empowering women. She will not be elected.
So it has to be practical.
It has to be practical. Or ODM fielding a woman in Gatondo. You know, she will not win. That is like saying go and lose.
Yes.
Because we know that if they are in the dominant party, they will win. So Kenyans vote. So it's the political parties, it's our politicians that must involve women.
Sometimes the women themselves say that they cannot vote for another woman. The women who say that.
Okay, you know, I know where you're going with that, and I really want to say this. Number one, women are socialized the same way as men. They are told women cannot be leaders, that they cannot be leaders, so they think that way. But also still, there are men who say they can never vote for a particular man.
Yes.
Why don't we make that an issue? When you say, I can never vote. See, you know, there are men who say they can never vote for a particular another man.
Particular man, yeah.
Yes. So why is it an issue if a woman says, I cannot vote for a particular woman? They see how the women are. But when the men say it, we don't see. We say, oh, very principled men. It is the same thing. It's only that we need to be re-socialized, yeah? It is true. A lot of women believe they cannot be leaders. A lot of them are intimidated by the idea of leadership. But you know, practice makes perfect. Excuse me. If you look at some of the women who first came in, they were very soft-spoken, you know, gentle. But after some time, they became confident. And now, you look at people like Cecily Mbarire, she was nominated.
Yes.
Millie Odhiambo was a nominated member of parliament. Rachel Shebesh was a nominated member of parliament. And after their nominations, they went and they were elected. So it is like a training ground, you see. So because the political party gave them that opportunity to be nominated, they gained enough confidence to go and face.
Move forward and
Exactly,
vie.
yes. So we need encouragement because remember that women have been excluded for a long time.
Yes.
So we cannot also judge them harshly. They need to be encouraged. They must be encouraged to join political parties because politics is not just about men. It's about our day-to-day things because remember the people who participate in the political processes are the people who end up becoming our leaders, our presidents, and they're the ones who make decisions that affect our day-to-day lives. What money goes where, which development agenda will be prioritized, they're the ones who make these decisions.
Yeah.
Yet, look at the decisions that women make every day. Well, for instance, for you, if you are married, you have no idea what you are going to eat, what your children are going to
I'll
eat.
get my
You don't even
ready.
know about your clothes, your own clothes, you know. But your wife, even though she is working, she has made sure that she has organized the home. Has decided, she knows when there's not enough food, it will be bought. She does the budgeting. She is a human resource manager because she manages the household.
The home.
She is a counselor. She's an advisor. She is also an economic. She's an economist. She's all these things in the home front. So it's just at a bigger scale that we are doing this because when they sit down to discuss budgetary allocations. It is the same thing. When you look at this is how much money we have today in the homestead, this is how we must spend it. We know that the child needs new shoes, or the roof needs to be fixed, so we need to buy this, we need to pay fees, so we prioritize. Women do this every day. Why can't they? They can also do it at the national level, deciding for the country. Yes.
If what is happening in Africa, in African leadership, is anything to go by, we only have one female president in Africa.
And that's a great stride.
Yes,
that is a great stride. The chairperson of the AU is a woman, elected by male. And remember, she's been elected by men, but she is a woman. And not only that, more and more women are coming out to vie. Look at Rwanda. Rwanda are leading in the world. Look at Uganda. They gave us the first vice president, woman. So why are we, as Kenyans, not wanting to move with the times? Why do we want to keep holding back? For what? And let me tell you, a country's development agenda is determined by its human resource. You cannot leave behind over half of your population and expect to develop or even to compete in a globally competitive world.
Yes.
Women have skill and talent that can enrich this country. They must be allowed to bring those skills into leadership and decision making. Women and men don't think the same way. So when you come with your thinking and I come with my thinking, we have a whole thinking.
Two heads are better
So
than
now we continue to be lopsided in our thinking, as you can see. Progressive and progressive minds coming up with ideas to hold women back. And for me, I think it's a very dangerous precedent that they're setting. Because if our legislators and our government is going to pick and choose which laws they want to follow, then we are setting ourselves up for anarchy as a nation.
Why do you think they're holding back? Because I'm sure they can do that if they want.
It's not, well, listen, first of all, it's not even about if they want. Because the Constitution is not about you wanting. The Constitution is the supreme law of the land that must be followed. There must be fidelity to that Constitution. So when you see infidelity to the Constitution, that is they are sowing seeds of anarchy. Because anarchy is about lawlessness, okay? Where you have laws and then people just don't want to follow them.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, what are you saying? You're saying that tomorrow when a bigger thing comes along, and they say, no, it looks like it's not something that we need to do, then they will not do it. So what are we saying of our country? What are we saying of our country? This is not how you govern. We govern according to the rule of law, according to the Constitution. So what needs to be done is they need to obey the Constitution, and we need to see fidelity to the Constitution. And Kenyans need to look and see that this is a very dangerous precedent. Because if they succeed in taking away the rights of women, it will not be long before they take away the rights of youth, the persons with disabilities, and before it, we will see all the rights being eroded. There is a saying that he who saves the crocodile gets eaten last. So this is the thing. And I'm telling Kenyans, don't allow women to be cheated out of their rights, their constitutionally given rights, because he who saves the crocodile will get eaten last. So if you let my rights go, tomorrow I will not be there to fight for your rights. And then yours will be taken. And then the elderly. And then it will be political rights. Because when you look at the rights that they are trying to deny us under the electoral system, which says the electoral system shall comply with the following principles. 1, free and fair elections. We are not seeing a challenge to that. They are not saying, no, let us work progressively to ensure that we have free and fair elections. Free and fair elections is a must. Number 2, requirement of the electoral system, that there shall be no more than 2/3 of the same gender. This they are challenging. Number 3, balloting by secret ballot. Nobody's saying that we should progressively work towards balloting secret ballot.
It has to happen instantly. It has to be done.
The other requirement, which it says is progressive, is that the state shall ensure the progressive registration of citizens outside Kenya to vote. But we are seeing a very ambitious plan to actually ensure that they are registering Kenyans in the diaspora. Yet that is the one that the Constitution says is progressive. So why are they going for the progressive one to achieve immediate, and the immediate one of women that they are saying is progressive? So you can see that this is an attempt to deny women. And I must remind you that in Jubilee's manifesto, page 30 of their manifesto, they make a promise to women. They say women are tired of empty promises. That the Jubilee administration will ensure that that 1/3, they call it the 1/3 rule, but it is the not more than 2/3 rule, will be achieved. And they even give us a formula. So now it is up to the president, because the president has promised to honor the Constitution, and his manifesto. He is working round the clock to ensure that the laptops are working, the standard gauge railway. Why is it he has worked around the clock to ensure that the youth, his promise to the youth is met?
Yes.
Is it that he feels that women are not important? We are over 52% of the population. Does the president feel that this is a constituency that he can deny the promise that he has given them, that he will not honor his word to them according to his manifesto? Then what are we saying of him? That he gives false promises? Because he swore fidelity to the Constitution, he made a promise in his manifesto. If he does not honor it, then he is not a man of his word.
And that can be used against him.
Exactly.
In 2017
yes,
election.
because we will say now, why should we believe him? If here he has allowed those lieutenants, he needs to call them and say, excuse me, we are not going to do unconstitutional things. And furthermore, this is my promise to the women of Kenya.
And women parliamentarians were seeking help from him. How is he going to help them if so far he's not pushing for the implementation of the Constitution?
He should push for the implementation of the Constitution. The Speaker is a Jubilee Speaker.
Yes.
And I'm encouraged because at least even the Speaker himself has tried to come to break the impasse by suggesting a formula. He's the only one who is trying to do something, you know. He's saying, no, okay, let's try this then. But at least we are seeing that the Speaker has a plan, you know. What is the president? The president should get the Speaker and say, okay, if that is the plan, we have a formula. If they are defeated with a formula, let the president call us. We will show him the formula because it is there. Ngek have a formula, okay? But we do not want to see this. Chepkonga is doing a wrong thing. And that he is a Jubilee member of parliament, he is doing wrong by the president. And the president needs to safeguard his image before the Kenyan people.
Sometimes when we see maybe the government deploying the KDF forces internally, we see, for instance, the opposition saying the government is breaking the law. Why aren't we hearing these politicians saying the Jubilee government, maybe parliament is breaking the law by not following the law in terms of what the Constitution says about the 2/3 gender rule?
Because when it comes to denying women their rights, there are no party differences. They are together on that one. Yes, because for me, silence means you are in agreement. And they are the same ones who have always colluded together to ensure women are excluded. So in my opinion, both Jubilee and CORD are in it together. But Jubilee more so, they take the bigger brand because that member who has moved it is a member of their party. We saw URP expelling members of the county assembly because they did not toe the party line. Why can't Jubilee expel that member, Chepkonga, because he has brought a bill that is contrary to their manifesto and to the Constitution? They should tell him, withdraw or we expel you.
So there is no political
yes,
way to
that
do
way we will know it's Jubilee, they are not in agreement. Yes. But for as long as they don't do that, then they're in agreement.
Do you think we will ever have a female president in Kenya?
Why not? Why not? Of course. And let me tell you, at the rate we are going, definitely it looks like we have been giving you men and all you do is deny. So I think we must reorganize and say, okay, sawa. Since they don't want us, wacha tu chaguane and tumalize hii mambo. Yeah. But why not?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That is all we had for you for now. My name is Paul Mushoki. Enjoy.